Man, this is so, I feel like this is so pathetic because against all odds, literally against all odds, I still build a stronger foundation and following and community than all these other all these other people who get to stream freely. That sucks, dude. If that's not telling of something, I don't know what is. Let's see. I just got to verify the stream is actually active because I cannot see it when it's on OBS. Okay, looks like it is. I wonder if I change the orientation now, if the if the screen is gonna get funky. But I should probably change the orientation. Should I change the orientation? I mean, considering most people are on their phones anyway, maybe I shouldn't. But I do want to take a look and see what happens. Let's see. Excuse me. Well, that's a shame. That's a shame because even when I do the live stream like on vertical orientation, it still shows it as if it was horizontal. So basically, it's like unless you're streaming on the phone, it's still gonna show it as a horizontal stream. That's interesting. Oh well. It is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the orientation and call it a day. Let's do that now. We're gonna switch to horizontal since we're not going to be on WeChat anyway. Let's do this. Boom. And now we have to tilt up just a little bit. Okay. Oh, that is way too much. Okay. Let's tilt down. There. Am I zoomed in? Let's see. Zoom out. Okay, it looks like I was just a little bit zoomed in. Now we should tilt a little bit to the left. Nice, not bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are basically set up again. The microphone is just going to be a little bit awkward because it's just in a strange position on the screen. Let's see. All right, we are back. Anyway, let's continue. So if you could hear me and we're good to go, just press 1 and we will continue, my friends. Ba, ba, ba. Wonderful. All right, let's go. Let's carry on. So, there's a couple talking points that I need to make sure I finish covering from yesterday. Um, Specifically, we're talking about reputation. So, from yesterday and reputation, let's see what we have. The last few talking points I had were first, protecting your reputation online, navigating social media without self sabotage. So, when it comes to this bit about reputation, is that there's so many people, obviously, online that they work behind the shield of anonymity because they go online and they are anonymous. They feel they can just go on a rampage and do whatever they want, say whatever they want, be as destructive as they would like to be, and that there will be no consequences. The reality, the reality is there are definitely consequences. You get used to this sort of behavior, eventually it bleeds into your real life. And when it bleeds into your real life, someone punches you in the face. That's the best. Now, as for us personally, who are trying to protect ourselves, it's pretty straightforward. Your reputation online is going to be about your behavior, your attitude, the things you do, the things you say, so on and so forth, especially if you are a public figure or a recognized person or influencer, so on and so forth. It's not just about what you do, but also the people you associate yourself with, the people that you work with or collaborate with. This would be a big part of it. I would say, I would even give you a very straight up example for me recently. Excuse me. So I have a friend, a client, a friend, whatever, that they told me about one of the other influencers that I know, and basically how they found that their content was kind of disturbing. Like, this is doesn't sound like this kid is in the right place, kind of thing. I saw some of his videos, and it seems like he has some issues he needs to work on. Now, for me to hear that from any regular person or another live streamer influencing person, then that's one thing. But to hear it from one of my clients that actually found this guy online, that's something totally different. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I definitely don't want to associate with a person if my clients are actually looking at him like, hey, yeah, this guy needs some help. This guy's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely lean in the side of caution when it comes to your online reputation because it can bleed out to your offline reputation. And frankly, in this case, self-preservation is more important. Like we have a connection right there between self-preservation and reputation. That's what it is. So yes, just be very careful the people you collaborate with. Let's carry on. So the next one on reputation, we're gonna go through this very quickly so we can continue on self-preservation. The silent watchers. So, how people notice things about you even when you are not aware. Hmm. I think that, yeah, that is very true. Over a long period of time, maybe there are some individuals who are consistently watching you and they don't really say anything until the situation calls for them to say something, right? And so those are the folks that we were referred to as the silent watchers. They would just observe the situation, they would observe your behavior, the things that you do, and don't say anything until they find it absolutely necessary based on their observation, the kind of person that you are. Hmm. So, yes, when you think that no one's watching, there is always someone watching and paying attention to what you do. Hey, good morning, Maya. So, the last one we have on reputation, Long term impact. So, building a reputation that lasts beyond a single situation or encounter. You know, the long term impact part, I think, for me at least, it's going to relate a lot to building relationships. At least to me, building relationships is where that sits. That's where it stands. So one thing that I say to folks is like, especially folks who are making like short form video content or just video content, is that consistency is definitely key to be able to build an audience in that respect. Because if you have followers that they watch your content for, let's say, even 2 minutes every day, hypothetically, 2 minutes. So we're talking about within a week's time, at least 10 minutes, and within a month, approaching an hour, not quite an hour, but approaching an hour. After, let's say 1 year, they would have spent around 10 hours watching your content, listening to what you say or do, et cetera, et cetera. And even though they don't know you personally, individually, they have still built a relationship with you, almost like a friendship because of your content. But in order to be able to build that sort of familiarity with your audience, you have to be consistent. The consistency makes a huge difference here. As we should, right, Alfred? So Alfred says, I have never been a one-time wonder. I commit to continuously build a solid reputation. As we should. What's the point of doing a thing if we're not going to keep at it? But it's also important to know when to quit if, things are getting out of hand. Excuse me. Okay, so leaning back into self-preservation. Let me take a look, make sure this is operating properly. Okay, that's fine. So we were getting into self-preservation earlier before WeChat rudely interrupted me. And the idea that, just because we don't agree with certain actions, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily good or bad. It could just be a matter of self-preservation, right? Right, Grandma? Just a matter of self-preservation. Now, we can't use that as an excuse for anyone else. Of course not. And like when you're taking foul action, you're taking foul action. That's all there is to it. But it's important to be able to acknowledge that as humans or as animals, we will always have an instinct to take care of ourselves or preserve ourselves before anything else, with some few exceptions, like when you're talking about like a mother, a father, and their children, which, yeah, they're definitely willing to sacrifice themselves more times than not in this situation. But outside of that, right, self-preservation takes priority. Unless you have built a very close bond with someone else and your priority becomes to protect that individual, then more times than not, as humans, we will look to take care of ourselves and preserve our own lives, our own survival over anyone else's. My goodness, my tea is still super hot. So, the survival instinct. Self-preservation is a natural instinct. Everyone has a survival mechanism that kicks in, whether it's physical, emotional, or social survival. And when I gave the example earlier about the folks that were working in the sales department, This would be a very good example of that. Right? Where the person is trying to pit the two top sellers or the two top associates against one another so that he himself can look good or better in contrast. Oh my goodness. I really got to lower the temperature on the tea. Can't drink. So, actions aren't always black and white, right? So, even though for one side, this is a very good example that Iris was bringing up. On the one side, you look at her situation where she says, like, well, yes, oh, hey, Iris just walked in. Go figure. Yeah, I want to help other people. Sure, I want to help other people. I want to support others. But the reason I want to support others is not for them, it's for myself. It's because I don't want to feel bad about it. I want to feel better about the situation. And that makes total sense. That makes total sense. If you want to be able to sort of alleviate yourself of that pressure, then helping others can be a way that you will do that. Now, of course, you know me, I am definitely in support of just saying no to people and moving on with our lives. We should not have to carry the weight of others and the challenges of others for no good reason, right? I did, Iris. I did. I was just like, just cut off video, put it back into audio so they don't give me notices about non-mainland resident is on the stream. Fucking losers. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just setting up full stream on YouTube. I'm set up on YouTube to do full video stream and just set up audio here again. That's all there is to it. We've gone over this with some WeChat reps. They don't give me crap about it when I'm doing voice only stream, but still the video stream is tentative until they learn how to stop being prejudiced, which who knows, that might take another 50 years. I mean, it could take another 50 years, but I'm pretty sure by then most foreign nationals would abandon the platform completely, so it doesn't matter. And they're like, okay, well, you can let WeChat be, not WeChat, just all the Chinese platforms, WeChat, Xiaohongshu, Douyin, whatever. Let it be exclusively just for Chinese people to use. That's fine. And then when Chinese folks want to sell stuff to people, then they'll go on the Western platforms and spam there. And it is what it is. Well, that's the idea, Iris. That is the idea. But at the same time, it really doesn't feel like it's worth the effort. So, honestly speaking, it's better to prioritize a Western platform for me. Sure, keep the stream going on WeChat, whatever, but don't prioritize it. It's unfortunate circumstance. Anywho, so the same action might be seen as selfish or necessary depending on the situation. So, of course, there are going to be scenarios, there's going to be situations where people will take what we will say questionable actions. But if those questionable actions are helping them survive, then in that case, it is understandable. Is it right? Absolutely not. Nope, definitely not right. But is it understandable why they would take that action? Sure. And understanding something is going to be more than half the battle, right? Understanding is what's going to give you an edge to be able to deal with it in the future. That makes a lot of sense. So Alfred says, my reputation is worth more than money because my reputation is what got me back on my feet and bounced back after hitting rock bottom. That is very, very true. I actually have a few clients who have said something similar where, They would been doing a lot of business and a lot of work, and they were very successful. And then they had like one really bad deal go down, and they lost everything. But even so, because they had a good reputation with their business dealings prior to that, with a lot of other people, they were able to bounce back. They were able to get a lot of support to get back to where they were. So that makes a lot of sense. Very, very solid piece right there, Alfred. All right, next talking point. So, moral dilemma is self preservation, or moral dilemma in self preservation. So, there's going to be times where you are going to be faced with some tough decisions, and you need to prioritize yourself over others. So, now the question becomes, when is it acceptable and when does it cross the line? I think that 9 times out of 10, if I'm going to be taking an action that's going to benefit me, or an action for self preservation, then that means that it is something that is not going to impose or hurt others. That's number one. So my priority is not to help others necessarily. My priority is to make sure that I'm able to benefit on whatever it is I'm trying to do without getting in the way of others, without hurting others, without conflicting with others. In that case, I'll choose me every single time. Now, when does that cross the line? I would say, in my opinion anyway, it crosses the line when the actions that you take to benefit yourself are compromising on others, or those actions are hurting others, right? You want more power, you want more wealth, you want more security, whatever it is, right? You want to expand your domain. Yeah. If you are doing it at the cost of the livelihood or the health of others, then that's where you're crossing the line, at least in my opinion. You let me know what you guys think. But unless I'm in quite literally a life and death situation, there should be no reason why I need to take from others to be able to fill myself. I don't think that makes sense. I've always found a way to fill myself by providing value to others, not by taking from others. And besides, there's only so much you can take from others anyway. That's going to be a very short-lived win. Thoughts, folks? Hmm. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so let's see. Next one is empathy through understanding. Oof. And like I said, sometimes it's fine to understand something without having to necessarily empathize with it. I don't know if I want to use the Luigi example here, but I think so many people empathize with this guy, Luigi Mangione, even though, of course, you can look at the situation and say, yes, this guy is horrible and he is a murderer and all these things. And it's true, right? You taking the life of another human being is not a great thing. But then you have this huge round of support for this guy because they also believe that the person whose life he took was also responsible for taking the lives of many others. The only difference is that he did it in a very indirect way. That's a tough one. So on either side, I can definitely understand the reasoning or the logic behind it. But it's like, does the method sort of justify the means in that sort of situation? There's always a deeper reason, isn't there? So let's see. Iris says, what if the deed benefits some people while hurting others' interests? Well, it depends on what the deed is, and it depends on who the people are, right? I would definitely say, here's my thing. If you are a person who intentionally has tried to wrong me, and I find out about it, I am ruthless. I am literally 100% ruthless. I will do anything and everything in my power to destroy you, no matter what. Because, as you guys already know, I'm not a person who's known for hurting others or abusing others or trying to use others for my own benefit. It's not something that I do. But if I find out that there's someone who has been trying to cause harm or cause issues for me, my business, my family, or something like that, I am ruthless. And under those circumstances, Iris, I would definitely say that, yes, if my deeds benefit myself or my audience or whatever at the cost of hurting others, then 100% I will do it. But I am never the instigator. I'm never the person to start that sort of conflict. Let's see. Alfred says the reputation is like the story of the bridge builder. I will tell you the story. Okay, oh, okay. I'm gonna. Is that a short story or? Wow, that's a pretty short story. Yeah, maybe I won't read it out loud, but folks, feel free to check out the bridge builder story that Alfred is sharing. That's interesting. That's funny. Okay, folks, it is past 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, WeChat has ruined our mojo this morning. So we need to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do about that. So unfortunately, had to cut the stream short right when we had a nice momentum of like 230 people, concurrent viewers online. Such a shame, such a shame. Thanks, WeChat, for your prejudice and your xenophobia. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and work on my systems here and hopefully get everything working properly through OBS for Twitch and YouTube on video again, because I will prioritize the video on those platforms. And I'll be here on audio as I usually am. Thank you, folks, for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to take this challenge and use it as a learning opportunity like I must. With that said, stay beautiful, stay amazing. Tomorrow is Friday, so we will chat tomorrow. And for those who are on YouTube, we will see you tomorrow. Stay beautiful. I mean, dude, I'm about to say bye-bye. You're telling me don't go. I hope you have a good reason. Well, no. It's 9 a.m. It's 9 o'clock. It's that time, dude. It's that time. But feel free to watch the replay right before this one. That's where most of the topic was covered. Yeah. Anyway, remember to follow 关注一下. Stay amazing. Bye-bye. Yeah, I would. I'm gonna work on this on the YouTube stream for now. Take care. Okay, let's see. How do we fix this?